This is one of the worst kidnappings in my opinion, and this is a massive trigger warning. On October 15th, 2018, 21-year-old Jake Patterson abducted 13-year-old Jamie Close from her family's home in Barron, Wisconsin. The attack took place at 12:53 a.m. after he forced his way inside and fatally shot her parents. Patterson then took Jamie to a house 70 miles away in Wisconsin and held her captive for 88 days until she escaped on January 10, 2019. Jamie Close was the only child of James and Denise Close of Wisconsin. In October of 2018, Jake Patterson drove to the Close home to kidnap Jamie Close. Activity in the house deterred him as he was afraid he would leave witnesses. Patterson made a second attempt 2 days later, but again aborted for the same reason. On October 15th, he made a third visit, this time armed with a shotgun. Shortly before 12:53 a.m., Patterson parked his car at the end of the driveway, and wearing a black coat and ski mask, he approached the front door of the home. Still carrying the shotgun, James Close, who was 56, shined a light on Patterson through the glass pane in the front door and asked him to show him his badge. Patterson then screamed, "Open the effing door," and fired once, fatally shooting James. Forcing his way into the house, Patterson checked every room in the house because he wanted to leave no witnesses behind. He found the bathroom door locked and began shooting it down. Inside the bathroom was Denise Close, who was 46, and Jamie. Denise was comforting Jamie, who was crying very loudly. At 12:53 a.m., Denise made a 911 call, and while Denise Close did not speak, the operator heard a disturbance and yelling before the phone call disconnected. When the dispatcher called the number back, they reached the voicemail of Denise. Patterson then bounded Jamie's wrists and ankles using duct tape and then fatally shot Denise Close. He then dragged Jamie outside, almost slipping on blood. He then placed her in the trunk of his car and drove away. The police arrived 4 minutes after the 911 call, and Patterson later told investigators that he pulled over 20 seconds down the road from the house. Deputies sped by with emergency lights and sirens on. Neighbors also said they heard 2 gunshots but dismissed them since hunting was common around their houses. After arriving at his cabin, Patterson made Jamie change into different pairs of pajamas, then forced her under his mattress and sealed off all exits before going to sleep. Less than 2 weeks after Jamie's abduction, a man actually robbed the Close's family's home, stealing some of Jamie's clothing. He was arrested but not considered a suspect in the abduction or double murder. Patterson believed that Jamie was way too afraid of him to make any escape attempts. He never put any special locks on doors because she wouldn't escape. They also slept on the same bed. Patterson would rarely let Jamie out of the cabin, only doing so for brief walks on the lawn before checking for bystanders. On the afternoon of January 10, 2019, Patterson told Jamie he was leaving for a couple of hours. He put her under his bed before boxing her inside with his belongings per his usual routine. After he departed, Jamie pushed out the objects around the bed. She then ran from the house wearing a light shirt, leggings, and a pair of Patterson sneakers. Jamie then came across a local woman named Janine Nutter walking her dog. Nutter recognized Jamie from news reports and immediately took her to her neighbor's house. After the police were called, Jamie told them that Jake Patterson had killed her parents and taken her, and kept her prisoner just a few houses away from her current location in the neighborhood. The neighbors described Close as calm, quiet, and dazed, and they were very surprised that they recognized her from the news coverage. The police then arrived around 4:45 p.m. and removed Jamie from the area for her safety. The description Jamie provided for Patterson and his vehicle enabled deputies to spot his car just minutes afterwards when Patterson drove by the house. After a deputy stopped him, Jake Patterson exited his vehicle and said, "I did it." A hospital admitted Jamie under guard, and the next morning they released her to the custody of her aunt, Jennifer Smith. Ormel, the parent company of Jenny O's store where Jamie's parents work, announced on January 24th that they would grant $25,000 to Jamie for rescuing herself. So yeah, that's the case of Jamie Close. I really think this kidnapping is extremely disturbing because she watched both of her parents die in front of her. And then the man who did it then took her away 70 miles and held her in captivity for 88 days. I could only imagine the stress and anxiety and the fear that Jamie was feeling for those days. I'm so happy that Jamie escaped, and she is truly brave.